Today's episode of The Mom Game is brought to you by our friends at Gateway Buick GMC at LBJ and Jupiter. I know that buying a car can be stressful, but not at Gateway because their slogan is Gateway's Got It. And just what does that mean? Well, it means Gateway's got a wide selection of new Buicks, GMCs, and GM certified used vehicles, all competitively priced. Gateway's got it. In these busy times, you want a car dealer who makes things easy and convenient. Well, guess what? Gateway's got it. When you log on to gatewaybuickgmc.com, look for the Shop, Click, Drive button. This allows you to shop from the comfort of your home, and who doesn't want that? In fact, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1, select your vehicle. 2, create your offer. 3, schedule your delivery. And on top of all this, Gateway Buick GMC offers complimentary car washes for life. So when you want a dealer who has it all, Gateway's got it. You can find them online at gatewaybuickgmc.com or shop in person at LBJ and Jupiter. GMC, we are professional grade. Experience the new Buick. And welcome to episode 157 of The Mom Game. I'm Emily Jones. She is Julie Dobbs. We are together. Maybe for the last time for a little bit. Not the last time, but baseball's about to start. Baseball's about to start. I'm headed to Arizona, spring training / spring break for myself and my children's, and the husband's going this year.
So all y'all are going?
Everybody's going. Everybody's going. I'll be there for 10 days. The fam will be there for 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. And then I have to stick around. So,
when do you leave?
Yeah, I leave on Wednesday, the 15th. So by the time this airs, I will be in Arizona, and then I come back on the 25th, and then it's kind of balls to the wall after that with the crazy.
Woo! Here we go, girl.
I know. Here we go again. Year 10 working for the Rangers. Year 19 covering this team.
Oh my gosh.
Like shit.
You're
old.
No, like you're almost at the point where like you've covered them longer than you've not covered them?
In my life, it's getting close.
Yeah.
I'm 45. So yeah, we're inching up there.
You're getting close.
Give me a few more years and
that's crazy.
That imbalance will absolutely take place. So yeah, but I'm excited. Like I'm really excited. I'm excited for work. I'm excited to get back to the ballpark. I'm excited about the Rangers. I'm excited. I mean, even Mike asked me the other night, he was like, are you ready to go back to work? And I'm like, I really am. Like, I really am. Yeah. And I didn't know if because of all the shit going on this offseason with us moving into the new house and getting it finished and blah, 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 I worried about it feeling too rushed. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's time. It's time. It's time for me to get in this, section of my season, year, whatever, into that routine.
Yeah.
I kind of had one for, the off season, and now it's time to transition. So
it's your natural habitat.
It is. And I'm super excited. Like I said, I'm excited about the team. I'm excited to get back to the ballpark. Like I miss it. I miss the games. I love the World Baseball Classic. Like this, I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
The juices are flowing and I'm ready to get going. But let's not bury the lead.
Oh, I think that's the lead.
That's
your baseball is the lead. Mine's just me being dumbass.
It's definitely not the lead, and you're not being a dumbass. It's not being a dumbass.
No.
It's not being a dumbass. It's not being a dumbass.
It's tough luck.
But it is tough luck. So let's catch up on the world of Julie, thanks to our friends at Panther City Lacrosse.
We love our friends at Panther City Lacrosse. You might be looking for something else to do with your family these days, before Rangers start. Maybe you can't afford a Mavs or Stars ticket. Those things can get pricey, but you still want to expose your children to the sport, to any sport. And you want to have something fun to do on whether it's a weeknight or a weekend night. Panther City Lacrosse is here for you. They are located in Fort Worth at the lovely Dickies Arena, which has wonderful food and bev options. Emily and I know because we ate about everything in that arena when we went to a Panther City Lacrosse game. It was so much fun. My whole family loved it. Kelly loved it. Ryder loved it. Anna loved it. I had fun. It was entertaining. I loved it because they were having fun. And I think as a mom, you know how important that is. So make sure that you go check out Panther City Lacrosse while you can during their season. You can secure your seats at panthercitylax.com. Discounted tickets are available exclusively for you. If you're listening to this, Yeah, you can get a discount. Go to our link tree in Twitter or on Instagram, and you can get that discounted link. We have a few options for you coming up March 24th, April 1st, April 21st. Make plans to go. Let us know if you do, and if you are going, and if we can, we will join. I'm always looking for a fun reason to get to Fort Worth. So we highly recommend Panther City, and thank you so much for your support, Panther City, and we can't recommend them enough for a fun night out with the fam.
Yes. Fun night out with fam. Especially when you're looking for stuff to do when your husband's out of town for 12 days.
Oh,
right, Julie?
Yeah.
Because your husband's out of town for 12 days. I'm about to be out of town for 10, but my family will be with me for like 4 of those. Mm-hmm. So I got a text from you. Mm-hmm. I guess it was Friday afternoon, evening. Mm-hmm. And it was like, hey, I'm on my way to Kansas City, but I left my phone in the car, and so I won't have it. I can get texted my watch, maybe. I don't know, something. And I was like, oh hell. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then you're like, and I was like, how did this happen? And you're like, well, LA didn't answer his text, and he didn't have his phone, and left it in the car, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay. Then I'm having so much anxiety for you. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be, if anybody can handle this, it's Julie. She's fly by her seat of her pants. Julie, she's going to be fine. And then I get another one on Sunday that's like, I'm headed home and I'm going to go to the phone store, and I think my phone's
You're getting the weirdest tidbits of information.
in Memphis. I think my phone's in Memphis, but I'm going to try to go to the store. Love you. I'm just like, oh dear. I was like, how the fuck did your phone get it to Memphis? Like, what's happening? You went to Kansas City without your phone, and then now it's in Memphis. Like, what's going on? And then I saw a tweet on Sunday night that was like, hey, at FedEx, not even sure how you stay in business when you just hang up on people. And I was
It's true.
oh dear.
It's true. And I meant every word of it.
Here we go.
My customer service, Julie.
Listen, are usually mild-mannered, calm.
Yes.
Everything's going to work itself out. There's no need to work yourself up. Just chill. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to figure it out. It's all good. Yeah. She went customer service, Julie, on Twitter. I did. And I have never been so proud.
Thank you.
I was like, yes. You tell them their customer service sucks on Twitter.
Oh my God. Does it ever? Okay.
So what we're drinking. There's a reason why these are almost empty.
Oh yeah.
We'll explain later.
We will.
But yeah.
Cheers.
Oh wait, yours already gone.
Oh yeah, mine's been gone for a while.
Okay. Well, I refilled our special guest. I refilled ours with what he didn't drink. Special guest.
You did?
Pete Delkus.
I didn't know you refilled mine.
I did.
I drank it.
That's okay. That's okay. We're celebrating because the phone is on its way back after 5 days. Is it here? It's at your house? What's happening?
The eagle has landed.
The eagle has landed.
So
bottoms up on your Celsius.
Cheers. And let me tell you, the only reason I think I got it back is because I took it to Twitter. I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding. I sent a mean tweet and I immediately DM'd. And
such a page out of my book.
I got Sandra because Chuck was out.
Oh, that's right. Okay, Chuck.
Sandra DM'd me back. She's like, hey, Chuck's out, but I'm filling in. I was like, I don't give a shit. Sandra?
I don't care about Chuck, damn it.
Who are you people? Help me.
I want my phone.
Help me. So long story short, it wasn't me being a dumbass. It was, a little bit, but not much. I went to Kansas City with my mom and Anna for the weekend.
We talked about this.
We were going to go.
Girls trip, your mom's birthday.
Excited. Yes. My mom's birthday was Sunday, so we went.
LA, your stepdad taking care of Ryder. Perfect scenario.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Amazing that he volunteered to do that. So he's like, I'm going to take y'all to the airport, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. Go to work, come home, throw all my shit in the car. We're going to Kansas City. We're going to have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to detach from all of work stuff, and I'm just going to have fun with my mom and my daughter, 2 people who I wanted to give more attention to in my life, right?
Yeah.
So he parks. I walk out of the car. I go to give him a hug. I say, thank you so much for the ride. We go to check in. We go to get our boarding passes, and I do the pat down. Everyone knows the pat down. Pat down in your purse and your hands flying around in there to get your phone to double check what my boarding pass situation. I need my phone. Oh, crap. It is not in my purse. Don't worry. It's only been about 3 to 5 minutes since I got out of that car.
Okay.
Surely he couldn't have gone far. So I got my mom's phone, called my stepdad. No answer. No answer. No answer. No answer. For about 30 minutes.
Oh, and you're just dial
911, sending all the texts. My mom's like, well, we have this secret code when it's an emergency. I text 911. And so we're trying to figure out, do we enter security? Do we not? Whatever. Long story short, he had driven off. He left his phone at home, which he never does. So I couldn't get a hold of him to bring my phone back. So then I'm faced with the situation. Do you board the flight?
Did you try to call your phone and he wasn't answering your phone?
No.
You didn't try to call your phone?
Oh, I did. I did call my phone.
I was about to say.
But it must have been on silent. Like it's always
if it was
on
vibrating,
silent.
yeah.
Because I'm on the radio for 4 hours a day.
He's driving on the road. He's like,
right.
What's that?
It might have been a vibrate. It
Yeah.
might not have even been a vibrate. I don't know. But he didn't hear it. And so I'm faced with the situation. Do you board the flight without your phone? Or do you stay and wait? Because he did get back to us after 30 minutes. And he's like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. I didn't have my phone, but I see your phone sitting here. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to head back to the airport. And he said it would be about 20 to 30 minutes till he got back. Well, my flight boarded in 40 minutes. And so what do? It's like, do you board the plane without your phone and hope for the best? He said he could FedEx it overnight and then I'd have it the next morning. So I really just have to make it an afternoon and an evening. I'm with my mom and my daughter, and we have plans with my girlfriends that night from college.
You're fine.
I'll be fine. And so I said, no, don't worry about it. I don't want to miss this flight. Like, I want to go on this trip. How stupid would it be if I was like, sorry, Mom and Anna, I got to wait for my phone. We're going to miss this flight because I need my phone. Like, you just don't do that. So I told him not to worry about it. Stop driving back to me. Just if you can FedEx it, that would be perfect. We'll get it overnight. I'll get it in the morning at the hotel. I'll go on with my trip. Have a wonderful Friday night with my girlfriends from college who I hadn't seen in forever. Next morning, 9:30, it's supposed to be there. It's not. I go to the tracking page on FedEx. It's somewhere in Memphis. And long story short, again, turns out that particular store in Memphis, where it was closed on Sunday. So it didn't make it by 9:30 the next morning, and it wasn't even going to make it on Sunday before I left to come home. So now what?
So now your phone's going to Kansas City, where you're no longer going to be because you're in Dallas because your trip has ended.
Correct. And anytime you try to call to tell them and to explain the situation, they hang up on you.
Yeah.
They're like, well, it says that it's going to be delivered to your destination on Sunday.
Visit our website.
March 12th. Yeah. And then they hang up on you. They're like, thanks. This is all the information we have. No way to talk to a human. Absolutely no way to talk to a human. And that's where my customer service bitch, Julie, came in. How do you have a company where you can't even talk to a human? If you have a legit, all I needed to do is tell you to reroute it. Just reroute it.
That's what I felt like when I got locked out of Instagram. Like it's just bots.
We talked
it's
about
just
this.
a series of links. You click on the links, you click, and then ultimately you end up in the same spot.
Yep.
But I will say being locked out of Instagram for a week, whatever, is way less taxing than not having your phone for like 5 days.
Yeah. I mean, so that was Friday that I left it, and today is what day is
Tuesday.
Tuesday, I still don't have it.
But the Eagle's landed.
The Eagle is
It's
landed.
at your house.
It's at my house.
Can I just tell you the amount of anxiety I have for how many red circles you're going to have, how many unread emails,
I know.
how many missed calls, how many voicemails, how many texts.
It's insane.
Will you take a screenshot and send it to me?
Yeah.
And then I'll immediately delete it. And then I want you to take another screenshot when you've gone through everything.
I will share.
Because it's making me nervous.
I will share.
But I will say I'm very sorry for this. And I know it's not, it's bad. It sucks.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't know that I would have handled it.
I know.
I mean, you had the one customer service Julie tweet,
which
but that was it. It did work.
Yeah.
Sometimes, listen, you got to pull out the big guns.
Yeah, you do.
Big guns.
It was a crazy experience not being able to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Email.
But you were talking to me through your watch.
My watch
via
would
text
randomly
message,
work sometimes. Yeah.
which is crazy.
Thank you, Apple Watch.
Do you have cellular data on your Apple Watch?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought it had to be close to my phone.
No. That's only if you don't have cellular data.
Okay.
So like I don't have
Am I
cellular
paying for
data.
this?
You're paying for that.
Okay.
But I don't think it's much.
Money well spent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But like if mine, it won't work. if I'm not close to my phone. But if yours work, that means you have cellular data, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
It
saved my ass. I mean, I couldn't do much, but I could communicate a little bit. I could talk I was like a spy. I took you that one time.
That was one. You were like, I can talk into my phone like a spy.
Yeah. I'm just wandering
and it's texting you.
So that's my most recent crisis. I feel like we always, between both of us, we always have crises.
Yeah.
It's just life.
In general. Yeah, pretty much.
What you got?
Yeah. Well, so we have a really special guest coming up, which I'm super excited about. My friend, well, you just met him.
I just met him.
But he's awesome. Pete Delkus, who's a legend here in DFW, especially in the meteorological community.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's got a great story. He's super hilarious and excited for him to join us. So we're going to try to be pretty brief here up front. But what's on your feed is next up for us. And that's brought to us by our friends at Early Bird CBD. And we had a really, not a cool thing happen. When you were gone, we had a girl, it was not cool, but I love the fact that this woman.
She was connected to us. Yeah.
She reached out to us. So she reached out to us on our Instagram DMs, told us she had just gotten diagnosed with cancer, which God bless you. We will be thinking about you. I'm like, please keep us posted on your journey. Let us know how things are going. And she basically reached out and was like, hey, tell me about these CBD gummies. Like, I feel like my mind is racing a million miles an hour. I'm not being able to shut it off. I'm trying to figure out all these things after this diagnosis, whatever. So because you did not have access to stuff, I DM'd her back and I was like, listen, we've got this. I'm going to send you some, please know we're in your corner. You've got this, whatever.
Thank you for doing that. I wanted to help and I was like,
no, but so I was like, we will, absolutely we'll be here for you. And the fact that she reached out to us and that she had listened to our words about, early bird CBD gummies that helped me sleep and that have helped you calm the F down, like all of that kind of stuff. And that she trusted us enough to reach out and ask about early bird and was like, I think I'm ready to try them. And so I sent her some and she got back to us and she's like, okay, so oncologist said I cannot do any kind of CBD during chemo. And she was like, but I don't start chemo until like 3 weeks or whatever. And so she's like, so if you don't, I was like, we are sending you some. They are already in the mail. Get after it, girl. Like, we got you. So anyway, I also gave some to my 20-year-old niece this weekend. She's having major anxiety from college, whatever. She came through on her spring break and I was like, just try these. And she tried them and she woke up the next morning. She was like, oh my God, I slept so good. And I was like,
good.
So this is, they're good stuff. They work. And I'm proud. I'm proud of our partnership with Early Bird. I'm proud of, I love endorsing products that we actually use and that we, that's kind of all we do. The fact that people trust us, that if they hear something here, they know it's legit and they know we're not blowing smoke up their skirt. And so to that, I don't want to say her name, but to you, we are thinking about you. Go effing kick cancer's ass and
do it. We're here for you.
Keep us posted on your project, on your progress.
Talk to you more about it.
Yes, obviously. And pop those early birds until you start that chemo and then go get it, girl. Okay. So what else was on my feed? So I haven't told you about this.
I'm excited.
So there was a picture. Do you know Allie D?
Yeah.
Who does stuff for the Mavs?
Is she still
I've known her.
in arena?
I believe so. I haven't been to a Mavs game in so long. I don't know. But so there was a picture of her and I got an Instagram notification that's like, oh, somebody commented or whatever. And so it was a picture of Allie and it was like it was a picture of her. And then this guy had tagged me, Gina Miller, Allie, Dana Larson. And he was like, I started a group chat between the 5 of us. Can you imagine the fun we could all have? And I was like, no, can't, because I don't want to. And then I screenshot it, sent it to my girlfriends. I'm like, not trying to brag, but this guy created a group chat. Obviously kidding. So don't think anything of it. The next morning, I get up and Hattie and I are going, she wants to get her nails done. It's spring break. So I was like, fine, go get your nails done. So I'm scrolling through Instagram and there's a message request and I click on it and there are 2 giant dick pics in
the group chat.
Not there. It wasn't even group. It was directly to me.
Not those other. Okay.
But it was a message request. So they don't know if you've, you
got D-picked.
I got dick picked.
Yeah.
Like you act like you're taking this all in stride. Or do you get dick pics a lot?
No, I don't get dick pics a lot, but I know it's a thing.
But you get them.
I'll get like boob pics every once in a while. It's like
give me all the
sex
boob
boss.
pics. Give me all the boob pics.
Yeah.
I don't want a dick pic.
Can anybody just do that to you?
I don't know. I was
Instagram.
I was expecting you to be completely flabbergasted by this. And now you're like, yeah, I mean, it's a thing. It happens. Dick pics. You're getting dick pics.
No, I'm not getting dick pics, but
why are you not enraged by me getting dick pics? I need to know this. You are so flippant about these dick pics. You're acting like it's no big deal. I was like, what the fuck? Do you know how jarring it is to see a dick pic?
Wait, so back up. So someone messaged you and you had to accept it or something?
No. So you go to the message. There's probably 800 of these. You probably have 800 dick pics you haven't
my
seen.
spam.
Yes. Yeah. So you go to, because I have to clear out all the things.
Well, there's your problem. If you didn't have to do that, you wouldn't have the dick pics.
But I don't want
Just relax and let things sit in your inbox.
I don't want a million dick pics sitting in my message request.
You'll never know if you don't open them.
Oh my gosh. 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 I've been violated and you're laughing and you're just telling me to like sit back and enjoy it and let it live in my inbox. What's wrong with you? The dude sent me dick pics and
that's terrible.
There's nothing I don't know. I could be the horniest person in America, and a dick pic is not going to do anything for me.
I'm with you there. I've been spreading this gospel for years on the radio.
Nothing.
Women don't want your D pics.
No,
we don't. I don't care if
you want to send me a tight shot of your abs. Now we're talking.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Do not send.
No.
No one thinks that's hot.
No. I'm with you. We're on a team here.
Okay.
I know that it's a thing is the only reason I'm not freaking out. Like I know that that's a thing.
Is it a thing for
it's
45-year-old middle-aged?
Just gonna put my little dick pic out there, see if anybody bites.
Middle-aged women with a husband and 2 children?
It's just like porn people.
Well, listen, if porn's your thing, that's fine. But like you're choosing to watch porn. I did not ask for pictures of your member.
I know. I was
so flabbergasted. I couldn't. I was like sweating, and so I texted my girlfriends. They're like, "You've got to report him. And I'm like, I don't want to go back in there. I don't want to go back in there and look at it. I don't want to go. It's just like it's some dude. I mean, it's like disgusting. Weird.
Yeah,
So I was like, okay. Violating. They're like, you've got to. Yeah, you've got it. And I was like, okay. So I like go back, and I'm like, oh. So I think my flight or fight, instincts kicked in. And I think I immediately deleted and blocked. I deleted and blocked because I couldn't even go report him because he'd vanished from my whole thing. Or a bot, whatever he was. I don't know.
Funny.
But it's so creepy.
It's very creepy.
Like what I thought was a really
I'm just sitting here cruising my phone.
Funny, sitting next to my 9-year-old daughter, and then these. It's like nothing is good about that.
No, there's nothing good about that. I don't need to
see that.
It's disgusting.
That's why we do things in the dark. There's a reason. There's a reason we turn off our lights and close our eyes. There's a reason. There's a reason.
Oh my God.
Love you. Love the end result. Ooh. But there's a reason why we turn off the lights, close our eyes. Okay. All righty. I'm just saying. Okay.
All of that is true.
It's all true.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Okay.
No more D pics.
Thank you.
Stop it. We don't want it.
Stop.
And we're not just old moms here.
Now I need your login. I need to go get in your message requests. I don't know how many dick pics you've gotten there.
I know. Will you go filter through them?
Terrifying.
Will you rate them?
Oh, okay.
1 through 10.
What?
Rate the dick pics.
No, I don't. And you know me, it's not like I'm some prude. I'm pretty effing liberal when it comes to shit like this.
You're liberal when it comes to dick pics?
No, but I was like, like I freaked out, like I just saw a tarantula.
No, yeah, I understand.
And in some ways, there was like a tarantula.
Oh no!
There was no grooming.
No.
I can't get over it. I can't get past it. I can't get past it.
Can we move Can we
I
move
don't
forward?
know. I don't know. Maybe I need other.
You need to cleanse your palate.
I don't know. It was bad. It was bad.
That's disgusting.
Okay. It is disgusting. Thank God we didn't talk about this before our special guest came in, because that could have been really awkward.
Yeah, but we just talk about like sperm and stuff.
That's true. That's
we
true.
did get there.
So we do have a very special guest. We've kind of hinted at it. Pete Delkus,
Yes.
our meteorologist friend, our
Biggest weatherman in
super
the
cool.
country.
He's an awesome
big
weatherman.
deal.
He is your mother's favorite
Yes.
weatherman.
And she got to say hi to him today.
Yeah,
on
she did.
speakerphone.
She did. But he's brought to us by a very new sponsor here on Mom
Yes.
Game, which we both have put to the test.
We have. When this sponsor reached out, it was kind of like music to my ears. This is something.
Well, it was after I was so hungover on our Super Bowl show.
It was after you were so hungover, even though you never wanted to admit that you were hungover, and you were hungover, and it's okay to be hungover. We all are hungover.
But I admit it. I wore it that show.
You wore it once I got it out of you.
Oh, yeah. And then we couldn't stop talking about it.
Right.
Okay.
Because I was excited. But as Emily said, she did have a show where she was hungover. It happens to the best of us. And that's what I told her. I was like, it's okay. It's okay to go party. It's okay to go have a good time. Us as moms, as working dads, as whoever you are, sometimes you just got to go take a load off. You have something really exciting and fun that you wanted to do and you want to celebrate. That's why we want to introduce you now to our new friends over at Drinking Buddy. Drinking Buddy is an all-natural supplement that you take with your last drink. It helps you avoid feeling like crap the day after drinking. If you have kids, you know that there is maybe nothing worse than waking up and feeling terrible and having to parent. Drinking Buddy is there for you. They are loaded with herbs, minerals, and vitamins like milk thistle, ginger, and prickly pear. That sounds like healthy stuff. That's all good here. The main active ingredient is called DHM. DHM is an extract from the Japanese raisin tree. This sounds like it's just natural, right? That tree has been proven to help your body metabolize alcohol more efficiently. It's also been shown to protect your liver from the damages of alcohol. Both of those things are important, especially as you get older, and it helps you feel the best the day after drinking and after you have a few drinks. Obviously, we're both not getting any younger.
So, yeah.
And we feel the effects of a night out a lot more.
For sure. So what I will tell you is this. So like usually I drink my Scout and Cellar wine, which is clean crafted, no added sugars. So my hangovers are pretty limited. You can't say hangovers. Sorry. My ill effects of drinking alcohol are pretty limited because I try to be responsible with it. And because I drink that clean crafted wine, there's not a lot of the stuff in it. But there are times when I'm not,
you're out,
not available. And so we had a night, a girls' night, and I was dying for a martini from Silver Fox, which is a favorite steakhouse in Fort Worth, and they have the best martinis. And then I knew I was going to have a martini, and then I was going to have a couple glasses of wine with dinner. And so I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to try it. So I did. I had a martini. I had 2 glasses of wine, had another glass of wine when I got home, and then went to bed, I put my little drinking buddy by my nightstand and some water, and I took it right before I went to bed. No, I think I actually took it like at the restaurant, maybe even. Yeah. Because I sent you a picture.
Drink, yeah.
Yeah. And I woke up the next morning, and listen, I wasn't doing cartwheels out of bed, but I also wasn't like, I got up, I worked out, like I wasn't dragging. You could tell a significant difference in it from when if I would have,
if you wouldn't have used it. Yes. So
I could tell a significant difference.
Which at this point is what we're looking for. We're just
Yes.
looking for a little bit of help in this situation.
A little bit of help.
I'll tell you, I used mine the night that we all went.
When
Everybody
you
from the
had
radio
like a
station.
marathon.
I had a marathon. We went to a elementary school party, and then we went to see Christina Ray and her band Oatmeal Pizza perform. They didn't take the stage till 11. So we were out until 1:30 or something.
Yes.
It was insane. And I told Kelly all day long, I gave him the drinking buddy. I was like, don't let me forget. We're going to take this with our last drink. And we both did. And we both woke up and we felt fine. We felt capable.
Right.
I usually will wake up with like a pound. And that's the thing that gets me like to where I can't do anything or I feel terrible or blah, blah, blah. That wasn't there.
Right.
That wasn't there. I was a little tired because I stayed up super late, a little groggy, but I didn't have the pounding headache, and that was huge for me. I didn't need to go run to the toilet.
And you're right. There's no health claims. You can't say it's not hangover proof. You can't say any of that. That's not, because everyone's body reacts to everything different. But I will say, I definitely tried it, and I definitely could tell the difference in taking it versus not taking it when I've dabbled in my, outside of my lane. Previous times out. So
same. I'm
thanks
super
to Drinking Buddy.
grateful.
I'm a believer.
Let me tell you, my kids just hit the road for a few days. I'm gonna bring out that Drinking Buddy.
Oh, get it, girl.
We're gonna be having a little fun.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know.
I'm talking a big game here.
Give me a call.
I'll give you a call. But I'm going to be used Drinking Buddy. It's my new buddy that I don't want to forget about anytime that I go out for a good time. So thank you to Drinking Buddy. And now it's time to introduce the one, the only, the great Pete Delkus joining the Mom Game.
So here he is. I'm sure if you are in the DFW area, have turned on a television, especially during severe weather at any point, our special guest, Pete Delkus. He's become a friend of mine over the years. I reach out with ridiculous questions about weather forecasts based on events that I'm going to.
I always know when the kids have like some type of an event. Could be a ball game, or there's some after school party or something. Julie, I always know. Oh, Emily's texting me. I'm like, I know what it is.
I know. I feel
Emily.
kind of. I know. I'm that person. I'm that person. It's like,
does she beat you down?
No, it's funny because friends like Emily will say, I hate to ask, but can you help me with this? And I'm like, okay, there's only a couple of things that I can offer in life, and it's like, one, I can help you with a forecast.
Okay.
So it never bothers me.
Wow.
And I always tell my friends, it's no big deal. I mean, I'm going to ask you for something at some point to help me.
That's so
if
kind
I
of
can
you.
help you with some crummy forecast, I'm your guy.
I mean, I'll send him like an exact location. Like, I'm like, here's the address. We're talking about a 5:00 first pitch. What are you thinking?
And her confidence level in me of having a great forecast at a specific, pin dropped on Google Maps is like, I'm like, wow, she really thinks I'm a lot better than I am. But I'm like, okay, here it is. Here's your forecast. I
just see Emily in the mom circle, and everyone's trying to figure out, will this baseball game happen? Don't worry, everybody.
I got this.
I'm going to text Pete Delkus.
It's like, it literally has come up at times, and they'll be like, well, just text Delkus. I'm like, okay. I mean, I guess I can.
I'm the guy. I'm happy to do it,
I love it. You need to start charging people $5 a pop for a personalized text.
Then they would want money when the forecast is wrong. So I'm always happy to give free forecasts to people.
True.
So.
Well, and this actually, I'm kind of ashamed of myself because I dog on people all the time that but it's people I really don't know that'll reach out like on Facebook and be like, hey, so I was looking at opening day. What do you think about, is there a place I should go to get tickets? And I'm like, oh my gosh. First of all, if you don't have my cell number,
right.
We're not close enough for you to be asking for Rangers tickets, first of all. But so then I always bitch about that, but then here I am texting you on like a random Sunday afternoon.
So
kind of the same idea.
That is so funny.
Can you take a look at your models for me and tell me what the forecast is going to be for my kids' baseball game?
All kidding aside, I'm always happy to help with that stuff. I really am. It's never a problem.
All right, I'm gonna have to get those digits.
Yeah, get the digits.
I think this is the first time we've met in person.
Yes, yeah.
I'm very excited for this moment. I'm excited for today. I feel like you are a legend here in DFW.
Look at the hair.
Well,
look at the hair.
Listen, I just
left.
left the gym a couple of hours ago. I mean, there's not a whole lot of dippity doing it right now, and it's really mine.
It's pretty. Yep, it is, and
really?
it's not even hard.
Wow.
Okay,
it's not. I don't have any during. When I'm not on TV, I don't have my Southern Baptist preacher hair on.
Okay, I like that.
I kind of put the wig on, when I get ready to go on TV.
Yeah.
And it drives my wife crazy. She's like, "Why do you put all that stuff in it?" I'm like, "Because I don't want it to move." She goes, "Why?"
Right.
I'm like, I have no idea. It's probably some scarring from when I was a kid.
Ingrained in you.
And the cute girl made fun of me because my hair was crazy or something. And so I've just always kind of put a bunch of junk in it to hold it in place.
Well,
do you
looks
blow
great
dry
in
it?
person.
No,
really
I've
does.
never. I don't.
You don't blow dry it?
I don't. Here's what I do. Here's my little routine.
Okay, here we go. Let's get down to business.
I'm trying to think of what it is. It's some spray gel type of stuff. And I forget the name of it. It doesn't matter. So I get out of the shower. It's wet. I comb it how I want it. I spray this stuff in it, and it dries. Okay, and then before I leave the house and drive to the TV factory where we make TV every day. I just brush the stuff out and it's dry, and I go on TV. Now, there are times when I'm walking through the parking lot, I have to kind of, it's a little crazy when I get
Windy
in.
day.
So I do a little reactivation with a little water. And I've got a little spray bottle, and I spray a little water in it, and then I have the helmet head.
Okay.
But right now, I don't think I have the helmet head. It's
No,
just
it still looks great, though. I mean, listen, I have my own hair issues to deal with, but
Don't
yours,
we all?
But yours looks great.
We can't all be blessed by the hair fairy.
No.
The hair fairy.
Yes, you've been blessed by the hair fairy.
Well,
Really
my son has really thick hair, and so does my daughter, and they both complain about it. And I'm like, hey, listen, when you're old like I am, you'll be happy that number one, because that thick hair when you're in your 20s, you'll be fine when you're in your 50s.
Yeah.
So don't complain about having thick hair. There's a lot of your friends that are going bald that are in their 20s. They would die to have thick hair like that.
Yes.
So there we go.
Hair lessons with Delkus.
Yep.
Okay, so let's start. Let's focus on career first, and then we're going to get into the family stuff. But where did the weather? Did you grow up as a kid loving the weather, chasing the weather, being geeked out by the weather? Because I know we're going to talk about your baseball background. Where did weather enter this equation?
Some guy died and they needed a weathercaster. And
true?
This is an honest to God story. I told Cynthia Izagiri this the other day. Izagiri.
There we go.
So she said to me, we were talking in the studio, and she said, how did you get into weather? Did you have like this moment in life where you saw this tornado and you wanted to study science, or something happened in your childhood? I'm like, no, I never had that epiphany. There's a lot of meteorologists that they've seen a tornado or something happen to their house, a flood or something, and they wanted to understand the power of Mother Nature, and that was kind of their moment in life. The light bulb went on, and they dedicated their life to meteorology. That never happened to me.
Okay.
I was a baseball player in college.
Yep.
My bachelor's degree's in television radio, and so I was.
Okay, where's college?
Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
Not Salukis.
No, the Cougars. The Salukis were the Division I school in far Southern Illinois who only offered me a half a scholarship. SIU Edwardsville, which is just outside of St. Louis, offered me a full scholarship.
Which in baseball, those are hard to come by.
Yeah, because back, there's not a whole lot of those. I don't know what it is now. There's like 7.25 or 7.5, something like that. They spread amongst the whole team.
Yep.
So I had a full scholarship to go play there. So now it's a Division I, then it's a Division II, but it was right outside of St. Louis, and I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to be a sportscaster. Okay. And so we did internships and stuff at the TV stations in St. Louis, and plus it was a full scholarship. And I was close to home, so I just went there and stayed there. So my bachelor's degree is in television radio. So I sign after my 4 years of college, I sign and I play 6 years of pro ball with the Twins in the Minnesota Twins minor league organization.
Wow.
And then...
Which I think I've sent you this. Your picture is up on the wall in the media dining area.
In Minneapolis at the...
yes.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is. I'll have to send you... I thought I sent you the picture last time. I'll have to send you
alumni.
The picture. Famous alumni. I don't remember but it's
I was their minor league player of the year. It was 100 years ago. What year would that have been? Like probably 88.
Okay.
Wow.
1988.
Okay.
Good for you. That's
But anyway,
impressive.
So anyway, I was this baseball player, and
What position?
I was a relief pitcher, right-handed relief pitcher, kind of a sidearm guy.
Okay.
Not a Dan Quisenberry, Kent Colvey, although I did work
Darren O'Day. That was more of a submariner.
Yeah, but I was kind of a side armor guy, release point, kind of mid-thigh type of thing.
Gotcha.
And I threw a blistering 81.
Woo!
With a strong wind at my back.
On fire.
Yeah, well, I was.
With
81. That's a fastball, huh?
A weather report in there.
Well, in today's world, you're right. That's fast. Back then, that was the old two-seamer I had.
Oh,
back
there
then.
you go.
So anyway, I'm a baseball player. I did that for 6 years, and I get hurt. And I have this bachelor's degree in television radio. So back then, the Twins used to have spring training in Orlando, Florida. We had just moved down to Fort Myers, where they still are. But I had, several years I'd been in Major League spring training in Orlando. And so I hurt my arm in Fort Myers. And the Twins are like, okay, we can send you to Minneapolis for surgery, or you can go back to St. Louis, where you're from. and you can do surgery there. I'm like, well, how about I go to Orlando? And they're like, why would you go to Orlando? I'm like, well, you still have the team doctor up there. And I want to do, when I was playing, I would do like post-game radio TV stuff and pre-game radio TV stuff on the different minor league teams I played for. And so I thought, well, I'm always
super smart to do
that.
that.
And I'm not very smart, but I always have a plan.
There you go.
That's smart.
And because I had a friend one time tell me that his dad had told him, you know, a fool with a plan can beat a genius with no plan any day.
That's true.
And so I've always had a plan. And so my plan was whenever my baseball career ended, of course, it was going to be a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
You know, 20 years in the major leagues. Whenever it ended, I was going to be a sportscaster. Clearly that didn't happen. But when I got hurt, I thought, let me do this internship in Orlando because I know these TV sports guys there. So I had met a guy back in those days, Pat Williams, who was the then GM of the Orlando Magic. He brought the NBA team there. He was also the GM of the Twins minor league team. And I lived with him for like a year and a half in his guest house. I was his Cato Kalin.
Oh.
Remember Cato Kalin?
I do.
I didn't kill anyone, though.
I just was about to say.
I didn't like aid and abet anyone in a murder.
Right. OJ never visited the back house.
OJ didn't. Well, and I did live in the back house.
Okay.
I really did. I lived
Okay.
in the guest house, which was right on Lake Killarney in Orlando, in Pat's house, and he had 4 biological kids and 12 adopted kids at the time.
Whoa.
So I would help out and all that to kind of earn my keep and played baseball on the team. So I wanted to go back to Orlando to do this internship and have this surgery. And so I go back there and I was a sports intern because I was an athlete.
I mean, clearly.
Obviously.
Obviously, you know about sports.
Well, do I ever. I don't know anything else.
Listen,
but I
what
do know
I've
sports.
learned over time is that men just know about it. It's like packed into their sperm.
It's in your DNA.
Yeah, there's sports knowledge inside sperm that automatically, if you have
Thank you.
twig and berries, you're automatically like, woo, I know about sports.
Clearly, women don't have that.
Obviously not. They can't
We'll get there
put
someday,
sports
maybe.
knowledge in boobs.
Well,
They can't. I mean, they can't do that. It can only go in nuts and bolts and stuff like that. But yeah,
No pun intended.
And I would tell, like when my son was playing baseball, through, high school, little league and high school and college and stuff, because my wife has forgotten more about sports than most of these dads knew. And I'm like, no, Jackie knows this. Pete, she's a woman. I'm like, seriously? And it just pissed me off.
Yeah. Because
I'm like, she knows so much about sports. And so anyway, I digress, which I typically do. So I get hurt. I'm doing this internship. I had 2 surgeries on my elbow. My baseball career's clearly falling apart. And I got to get a job because I had just gotten married in October of 1991. So
pressure's on, yeah.
Yeah. So my newlywed wife, who is not living with me in Orlando as I'm rehabbing and doing all this stuff, she's living in St. Louis because she was gainfully employed. Then McDonnell Douglas, then it became Boeing. So she had a good job. And so I'm doing this internship, and the sports guy comes up to me, and he goes, the news director wants to talk to you about doing weather on Saturday morning. And I'm like, me? And he goes, yeah, they need the weekend weather guy. His name was Bird Bullock. He had been sick on and off, and he died. And they said they need somebody to do weather. So
you were serious, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll talk to him. Because I knew the weekend sports guy was leaving.
Right.
And I thought if I somehow endear myself to them, maybe I'll get that weekend sports deal.
Yeah.
Because I was an athlete.
You know sports.
Right, because I have that sperm.
Quite clearly.
So
the sports sperm.
The sports sperm. So
it's magical, yeah.
So anyway, so they say, this guy's like, well, you do weather on Saturday morning, and I'm like, sure, because I'm just going to go in and just rail on the anchors and make fun of them because I don't know crap about weather. So I go in.
It's kind of one of those things where you have to feel like you get an opportunity. You're like, sure, I'll fake it till you make it.
It's in Orlando.
Yeah.
Then it was the 21st media market as opposed to starting in Paducah, Kentucky.
Right.
I mean, so this is pretty good opportunity. So anyway, I do it on Saturday, and I mean, I just make fun of the anchors. I mean, it's the same stuff. But again, think of my life at that point. I'm raised in a clubhouse. Mm-hmm. All we do is give each other a
rail
hard
on
time.
each other. Yeah.
And so, which is, just kind of, that's fun. So I'm just teasing the anchors, and they're kind of taken aback, and I'm like cracking myself up.
That's the best.
So the news director, he calls the station.
Look at my material, you guys. I'm amazing.
So funny. And so the news director calls the station. He said, hey, I want to talk to Pete. So I'm like, I pissed him off. So he goes, that was great. Will you do it Sunday morning? I'm like, it's Saturday night. And I've got, the news starts at like 6 in the morning. I'm like 27 years old.
Yeah.
I've got stuff to do, if you know what I mean, on Saturday
you gotta go
night.
party, man.
So anyway, I said, sure, I'll do it on Sunday. So I did it on Sunday. He shows up to the station. He walks into the studio right when the news ends. I'm like, man, I've kind of gone over the line, but I was really funny today. And and how hard can the weather
Nailed
be?
it.
It's summer. It's Central
It's
Florida.
Orlando.
It's 95, a pop-up afternoon thunderstorm. It's not brain surgery.
You're like, I'm going to take this airtime and make the most of it.
So I do it, and he goes, I want you in my office tomorrow morning. He goes, I'm going to offer you a job. We'll talk tomorrow morning. This is Sunday like at 10 in the morning.
You must have been really funny.
Then that's when you party like it's Sunday night, like it's Saturday night.
Oh, that's right.
You make up
Exactly
for it.
right.
There you go. There you go.
So I go home and tell Jackie, again, we had been married, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I go tell her, I said, this is honest to God truth. I go tell her, I said, what do you think? She goes, well, that was good. You did a really nice job. And I look back at those tapes. It was terrible.
Horrendous.
I
haven't seen them, but I'm talking about our own experience.
It's 27-year-old Pete, and it's the same guy, but I just watch my mannerisms in the chroma key. It's just, I've been doing this now for 30 years. So anyway, so I tell Jackie, hey, he's offered me a job. I'm going to be in his office tomorrow morning. He wants me there at 9 o'clock. He's going to offer me a job. I'm going to be the new weekend sports guy. Now, this is honest to God truth.
Oh, you're thinking.
And she,
Oh, no.
I know.
Okay.
I know. And
That's
my
in your
my
super
little
sports
brain,
sperm, too.
Yeah,
He
my
knew.
little brain. I'm like, and so she goes, well, hold on a second. You just did weather for them for 2 mornings. Why are they going to offer you a sports guy? I said, well, Greg, who's now coincidentally the main anchor at that station in Orlando, Greg Warmoth. I said, Greg's leaving, and they're going to give me that job. Mm-hmm. And she goes, well, I said, I've been doing this sports internship. I said, they just needed to see me on TV to see how I could do. And she goes, but Pete, you did weather. I'm like, Jackie, I'm an athlete. I swear to God I said that.
Oh, my God.
And I was totally serious. I'm like, I'm an athlete. Now, I'm like 3 months removed from the baseball field, so I'm still in that mentality.
Sure.
And she goes, but you did weather. I was very condescending. I'm like, listen,
I got this.
listen. So I go into his office Monday morning.
Listen, honey, let me fill you in after the meeting, okay?
Trust me, she's the smart one. I'm not. And so clearly she had a lapse, way back when. But so I go into his office Monday morning. The guy's name's Chris Schmidt. He changed my life. I mean, he really did. And he said, hey, he goes, man, you did a great job for us this weekend. He goes, I want to offer you a job. I want you to be my Monday through Friday morning weather guy.
Oh, weather guy.
And I'm like, I swear as God is my witness, I started dying laughing. And I said, weather guy? I said, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. He goes, you were really good. He goes, you can ad lib just so easily. And he goes, we had a company called AccuWeather. And I would call AccuWeather, a guy named Paul something would answer the phone, and Paul would give me the forecast. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not very smart, but I've got a good memory. Yeah. So I could just regurgitate anything that Paul said.
Write it down.
Right. And so that was how I did it. And I said, I don't want to do weather. And he goes, why? And I said, well, the weather people, back then the main weather guy was a raging alcoholic.
Okay.
I mean, a raging alcoholic.
Did you want another drink of your mimosa?
I may need another drink. Think of this. And then he had a... Trying
to insert irony here.
She couldn't resist.
So he was a raging alcoholic. He's a recovering alcoholic now, and he had a fetish for porn.
Oh well.
And so
I'll stop the jokes.
Think of where
where
I came from with guys in Clubhouse, okay? And there's no
very similar.
There's no topic off limit, but we didn't have stacks of porn magazines all over like this guy had in the weather office.
Oh, he had it in the office.
Yeah.
Oh, so aggressive.
So heinous.
That is an addiction. You can't get through a weather report without getting
and it was
how times have changed. Can you imagine if you walked into a place of business and they had a stack of porn?
Well, no, it was like it was Playboy
weather.
and Penthouse magazines, and I remember the first time I walked, and I'm interning in the sports department, and I would walk over to the weather office, and there would be, I'm like, and we never, I mean, nobody did that in baseball. I mean, nobody had stacks of Playboy and Penthouse magazines all over, at least where the women could see it.
I was about to say.
Emily, I'm going to circle back to your reaction to that later on another show.
Well, since I've been in there, the internet's been around.
Well,
so
yeah, you have this now.
There's no need for
right.
stacks.
You don't need stacks.
No one's doing that in the locker room, but it's just now more available.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Right? It's more readily available.
Back
You don't
then,
need a hard copy.
Well,
right.
yes.
But I would guarantee you in clubhouses, there was that reading material.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, it was
a little
for
different.
It was for the articles.
And it was probably in the bathroom.
Really great
it's not
writing.
What
gonna
does
be
that mean?
out
This
on
is
the
making
coffee
me very
table.
uncomfortable here, having this conversation with the two of you.
Welcome to the mom game.
Time.
So I tell this guy, I'm like, no, these guys are all weird. The one's a raging alcoholic. He's got a porn addiction, and the other one's just all these things. And he goes, no, you're different than them. You need to do this. I'm like, I'm not doing this. And she goes, well, think about it. And I said, I've thought about it. Now, so we laugh and shake hands. We'll talk later. I get up and leave, and I go do my sports internship because I had
You went back to an internship.
I go back to the internship, but I'd had job opportunities, down at West Palm and Fort Myers to do sports.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so anyway, all week long we talk about this. Finally on Friday, now this is in the summer of 1992. You two are too young to remember this, but in the summer of 1992, I know you're younger than me. In the summer of 1992, he sits me down. He goes, okay, Pete, listen, you really need to take this job. This is a Friday, so all week long we've talked, and I said, okay, tell me why. He goes, well, they've come out with the internet, and he said. Now think of this. I mean, back then, well, you don't get it, but back then, I mean, we had like computers, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, we didn't have this. And so he looks at me and he goes, Pete, they've come out with the internet. And he goes, it's really going to change the way we lead our lives. And he goes, and our researchers and our consultants are telling me that they're not going to people aren't going to wait up to get to get the sports scores on the late local news. They're going to get that, they tell me, one day on a cellular telephone. And, back then, those were the bag phones.
Oh, yeah,
and
I remember.
the brick phones, which I didn't have one back then. And I'm like, I don't know. I said, listen, I'm with you. I'm just kind of blowing him off. And I said, I just need a job because I don't know if I'm going to make it, through this rehab thing with my elbow because I'd had 2 surgeries at that point. And I said, I tell you what I'll do. I said, I'll give it a try. And he looked at me, he goes, you won't give it a try. He goes, you're going to do this. You're going to be just as committed to this as you were in baseball.
Wow.
And he goes, and we're going to pay for you to go to school and get a degree in meteorology. And I'm like, oh, hold on a second.
You didn't say anything about school.
Yeah, I said, I promised myself that I would never go back to school after I got my bachelor's. He goes, did you say you would never do something? I said, yeah. He goes, buddy, I'm a lot older than you. He goes, you'll learn. As soon as you say you'll never do something in life, you'll end up doing it. I ended up going back to school and getting certified and all of that.
Wow.
Getting a master's in meteorology.
He really changed the course of your life. He saw something in you.
Totally. Just that I can
he nailed it.
BS, but...
He nailed it. He
totally did. And as far as the vision...
He knew about the internets.
He knew
about the bag phones.
The World Wide Webs.
The cellular telephones.
I know. So that started... I started... the summer of 1992, Hurricane Andrew had hit South Florida, and they sent me down there. And I said, what do I do? And he said, just go down there. We'll put you somewhere safe. I went to Coral Gables by the Hurricane Center, and he said, just talk about what you see. And I said, well, I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree, but I can talk.
Yeah.
And so thank you for confirming that I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree.
Yeah. Yes, on both fronts.
But,
no, I'm just kidding.
So, I mean, that's how I got into it. A guy died, and they needed somebody to do it. And I was like the oldest, highest paid sports intern, I'm sure, in the history of that television station, because I was still getting paid from the Twins.
Okay. But did they pay you at the station?
When I started doing TV.
But not as an intern.
Oh, no.
I was about to say.
Back then, interns didn't get paid.
I didn't get paid as an intern.
No.
It was a long time before you got paid as an intern.
I never did.
I never would have even dreamt of asking for money.
Yeah.
Because just the opportunity to do something.
Yeah.
Was invaluable.
So you go from Orlando to...
Orlando 4 years.
Okay.
So about year 3 in Orlando, they offered me the main job because the guy who had been the main guy... He
died also.
He's still alive.
Sorry?
Danny Trainer is his name. Danny is
Danny, I hope you're listening and I hope you're doing great.
Wonderful guy. We're glad you're here. He did teach me so many things. And just a really funny. He was an institution in Orlando. He'd have been like the Dale Hansen of Orlando.
Wouldn't it be crazy if just like everyone's job, every job you got was just because someone died, and people were looking into it like there might be something going on with this Delkus guy.
Yeah, don't be friends
Everyone
with him.
right above him keeps dying, and he keeps just running right into their spot.
Someone go check his closets.
Yeah, no kidding. So he kind of like hanging around the Clintons, you know?
Yeah.
With all that stuff going on.
Hey, we can do that here. We can do
Buzzword. We brought up a buzzword.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's talk Trump next.
Oh my gosh.
And Hansen. I mean, you threw that's a trifecta right there. Hansen, Clinton, and Trump.
You know, that's what I told Dale. I'm like, you know, he goes, you don't stay for my my sportscasts anymore. I said, because I know what you're going to say before you say it.
Yeah.
And then I said, you veered so far hard down the political path, which I'm so apolitical. I have opinions, of course, like everyone else, but I'm like, nobody wants to hear my opinion.
No,
so I just keep
hate
my mouth
politics
shut.
so much.
That's how
So,
we roll.
so I'm like, I am out on the politic deal, you know?
Yeah.
So Dale said, I'm going to do a podcast. I said, yeah. And I said, you're going to be sports? Because I'd like to hear your sports stuff. No, it's going to be politics. I'm like, God, who wants to hear
well,
that? That stuff's toxic.
We need it. I'm going to have Dale on.
Yeah.
And talk.
He went all the way to Ellen
He,
with the political.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, and also too, but the Dale you saw on Ellen isn't exactly the Dale you saw on WFAA every night.
I know.
Let's be real. We're all like,
so funny.
It's funny.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
But anyway,
But
I mean, everyone can come into their own as they choose. But I mean, and Dale is a piece of work. He's, I mean, like you said, an institution around these parts for sure. You know, there are quite a few of those that I'm lucky to have gotten to know.
I think of Randy Galloway.
Randy Galloway,
too. I miss hearing him on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish he was still doing
Maybe
it.
we'll get Randy and Dale in here for
gosh.
like a back in the day.
We
podcast.
might have to get mics too.
Yeah.
I just don't know
It'd be
if
fun.
we'll ever talk.
That was kind of the era too, because that doesn't exist. You know, drinking in the TV stations. You know, like Danny used to do.
Whatever are you talking about?
Danny he had a refrigerator in the weather center. Of course, that's where the porn was stacked on top.
Yeah.
But he had beer in it all the time. I mean, he was hammering. I mean, whatever he was drinking back then.
Oh my gosh!
And then he would eat. I should tell all these secrets.
No,
What a time to be alive!
Oh yeah, he would eat a bunch of like Frosted Flakes before he would go on. I guess because he felt like it would absorb the alcohol.
Oh, how funny!
You know, and I'm like,
is that a trick we need to know?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a big drinker to begin with, let alone before I go on TV.
Right.
There was one night when Troy Dungan retired. He had like 73 retirement parties. And Hansen and I went to this one retirement party across the street from Victory Park, and they had some really, really expensive champagne. And again, I'm not a big drinker, but I'm like, well, you know, I mean, this stuff's like $1,000 a bottle. I'll have some champagne. So we're drinking champagne, and all of a sudden I'm like, you know, man, it's 9:45. We got to get over to the station. He goes, no, just have one more. And
Because Dale on the reg, according to legend, Dale on the reg would just throw a few back in between 6 and 10.
Dale was at his best.
Okay.
I am not kidding. When Dale went out and had a long dinner break,
Yeah.
there was nobody better on TV than Dale Hansen.
So
I'm not joking.
well, and I will say this too. Like, so when I'll MC a Rangers event, when I first started working for the team and didn't work for the network anymore, and I started doing emceeing a lot more events for them or whatever, the charity events and all that kind of stuff. And I remember telling my boss, John Blake, was
John your boss?
John is my boss.
John is your boss.
John
What
has
a tyrant
been my
he is.
boss
Isn't that
for a very long time.
Odd couple.
It is. It really is.
And you know what's
yeah.
funny? We get along really, really well because we've kind of figured each other out.
Yeah.
Mostly
Obviously,
I
or you
figured
wouldn't
him
be
out.
there.
This is very true. But I remember telling him, like, when I for one of these first
Speaking from
events.
experience.
Yeah. So I told him, I was like,
work in
listen,
the system,
if
girlfriend."
you want me to do these things, I need a glass or two of wine. Like, I need to be able to, like, kind of breathe
That's
a little
your
bit. Because it's one thing to be talking into a camera, as you know. It's another thing to be talking in front of people who you are actually supposed to be listening
And
to you.
they're sitting there drinking.
They can see if they're listening to you. You can see if they're listening to you or not.
Yeah.
So I emceed this PTA event a couple of weeks ago.
With the buzz?
No, I wish I would have been hammered because they were. And
PTA
so,
event?
of course.
a
Of
PTA
course.
event. And I was like, so.
They're all in carpool going.
Yes. But so to the point where.
Part-time alcoholics.
I would say probably
I just made that up.
70% part-time alcoholics.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
So there was probably 70% of the audience that was listening and attentive. And then there was this 30% on this side that was just fucking like living it up. And so I'm just trying to power through, but I'm so distracted that I can't even function.
Yeah.
And I hadn't had 2 glasses of wine to get my shit in order. And so before I know it, there's a lady standing beside me on the podium, and she walks up on stage and scolds these people and tells them to be quiet.
That sounds so awkward.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so awkward. Oh my God, like I'm having an anxiety attack. Like I'm having social anxiety disorder. So, and then I was like, fuck it. And I was like, y'all are worse than my kids. I was like, y'all, what? And then this is going to sound so terrible, but a lot of time, we get asked to MC a lot of things. We get asked to speak at a lot of things. You kind of have to draw the line. You have to, there's a price. Like I charge for my time and whatever.
Yeah.
I was doing this one for free and I wanted to be like, listen, you mofos.
Oh, right,
I just drove an hour here.
Yeah.
On a school night when I'm missing a kid something, and you're going to just talk all the while I'm just trying to tell you some funny shit that I think is funny and probably isn't, but just bear with me.
Yeah.
Well, just be polite.
Right. So anyway, back to best work, Dale Hansen, couple drinks in. Yes.
Oh, no.
With all of us. I feel like that's with me too.
Yeah. So
this is why we drink on the mic.
We go to this retirement deal, and we go back, and it's the only time. And we'd had, I don't know how many glasses of champagne we've had. And again, I'm not a big drinker, so I'm a lightweight. But I was like, and so Hanson looks over at me right before I get ready to start, and I'm nervous. I'm really nervous, and I'm like, God, I don't want to screw this up. I finally got to a market. I don't want to go anywhere else. This is the last stop, in my TV career, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, don't slur your speech. It's all this paranoia is hidden.
You're thinking so hard.
And Hanson looks over at me. He starts dying laughing. He goes, Delkus, I'm telling you. He goes, you shouldn't do this shit. He goes, leave this to the professionals like me. and I did that whole deal, and I was so nervous. And it's the only time I've ever had anything to drink like that.
Yeah.
Before TV, and Dale had, if I'd had 3 glasses of champagne, he had 6.
Oh, wow.
And he was flawless.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's a professional.
And funny. He is truly the most talented guy I will ever work with. I've never seen someone. He would sit down and write those commentaries before he veered off the deep end. In my opinion, I've told him this. I'm like, man, just lay off the politics stuff. You kind of, because it's the old Michael Jordan deal.
Yeah.
Republicans buy tennis shoes too.
Yep.
You're going to piss off half your audience, or in Texas more. But I'm like, just kind of play it down the middle of the fairway because you're really good. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. But the guy's so talented. He could write those commentaries or his sportscast, and like that. He'd have like an award-winning commentary that he just think about on the drive from Waxahachie to Dallas, and sit down at his computer and knock it out in 5 minutes. He's like, what do you think of that? I'm like, wow.
And don't you think, though, that's one of the things about getting older and more advanced in your career, and to the point where you're almost at the end where you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to say whatever I want.
Yeah.
I'm going to do, I'm going to say what I believe. And so I do appreciate that about him. Like, there is always like the time, place, like, is this the time? Is this the place for this or whatever? And everyone has their own, whatever you want to do on social media and all that kind of stuff. But there is something very liberating about being like, I am kind of the point where it's like, this is what I feel, and this is how I believe, and this is why I believe it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You know what I mean?
And for him, it's what he, I just gave you my opinion, which matters zero. But that's what Dale wanted to do, and if that's what he wants to do, then more power to him. It's his life. He's had a fantastic career,
right? But it does make him a bit of a dichotomy, because we've seen the comments and stuff that he's made, the remarks and all that kind of stuff that kind of flies in the face of the other things that he says. So it is a little bit confusing, which is why we'll get him in that chair, and I'll hold his feet to the fire. But okay, I want to talk about one aspect of, we just brought up social media. You're a Twitter guy. I
like Twitter, and
you like to poke the bear.
But here's
so fun.
Here's the deal,
is fun.
And I'll have people go, why would you say that back to them? I'm like, why would I not?
Right.
If you're going to kick me in the in the groinal area, well, what am I supposed to? Where does it say I have to take it?
Right.
Now, I'm not going to, call you names or cuss or anything like that. So on my Tweeter, there's no cussing.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stay off your Tweeter.
There's no cussing and there's no politics. I don't want any politics.
Yeah.
And don't be name calling. I mean, but if you're going to do that to me and you're going to hammer me, well, I'm going to kick back.
Yeah. So do you pick? So my whole strategy with Twitter and social media in general is like I just pick my fights. Like sometimes I'll be I'm a little feisty mood.
Do you pick your fights? Or do you go for?
Or do you go for all of them?
No, I pick them.
You pick them.
Yeah. You probably
I
have
would
a lot of
imagine you
opportunity.
get because you got a shit ton of followers on.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
I'm a big deal.
You're kind of a big deal.
Whatever you're doing is like clearly working, and it's been an evolution of TV, right? It's like some people, you have the people that don't watch the news anymore. You have tons of people that do still watch the news and that do still watch the weather.
There are a ton
but
of
a lot of
people
people, like
yeah.
my mom, for example.
I was going to say your mom,
who
Ann.
just had an
Ann.
opportunity to say hi to you on speakerphone because we were trying to convince my son to get in the car so she could drive him to Austin, and then Pete Delkus walked in
talked about,
and
yes.
welcome to the mom game. But she couldn't wait to talk to you. She follows you on Twitter. She doesn't like
Your mom does?
My mom, oh yes,
That's great.
Yes, and she's like, I need to see his report. When she lives in Austin, but when she's here in Dallas, she wants to see what's going on with the weather. She wants to know if she needs to pack a jacket for whatever she's going to do. And so you have to be able to evolve. Like you have to be able to evolve from the TV to social media. And I think you've nailed that. And I feel like that's clear. 434.6 thousand followers on Twitter.
I mean,
how many do you?
How did you get like 95?
Yeah, and that's a lot. I mean, yeah,
That is a lot.
How did you get so many followers on Twitter?
Because he's awesome. Because
Being a
people love
smart
him.
ass.
He's being real.
I need to be more of a smart ass. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and
It's very refreshing, I think, for a lot of people, though.
Well, and it's
Just to be
different.
normal.
It's
Just be
different.
yourself.
And when I started in this market, it's been 18 years.
Wow.
So when I started
in this market. So
in
you
this
got here
market,
in
05.
Okay, I got here in
so,
04.
So in June it'll be 18 years.
Okay.
So when I started, I mean, I was really condemned because I would joke with Hanson and I would joke with John and Gloria. And they're like, well, I mean, you're not a serious meteorologist. I'm like, dude, it's freaking sunny and 95 every day for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we hit 100. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Who's watching? Let me just give them a little, my goal isn't to make you laugh, but if I can make you smile.
Right. It's not taking me so seriously because
Right.
I'm not.
But in all of my years here, have never one time for a second screwed around or laughed or been anything but hardcore serious when we have bad weather.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
When it matters, yeah.
When it matters, you put on your game face at its time. But on the other days, and I mean, I look at the ratings and I see those kind of things. I'm like, and sometimes, and I really like the folks, our competitors in town. Dan Henry at Channel 4 is a super nice guy. Rick Mitchell at Channel 5 is one of the nicest guys. David Finfrock could be like the nicest guy
So
ever.
there's no weatherman rivalries.
David Finfrock is the nice. I mean,
I love him so much.
all of my
He's so
competitors in town. Scott
Is David-
Padgett at Channel 11.
Finfrock's not working still, is he?
Gosh, thanks for watching. I know you only watch Channel 8.
Yeah.
That's why you don't know that. David's kind of semi-retired,
Okay.
so working a little bit.
Yeah,
But
he's
all
so
the folks at 4, 5, and 11, they're really, really nice
I feel like
people.
by and large, everyone in the DFW like media market period gets along pretty
They're
well.
nice.
Like I don't
Like-
feel like there's
like-
any like bitter
I used to tell Hanson, my favorite sports guy is Mike Ducey.
Oh,
I love
Ducey.
Deuce.
because you guys went to the same place.
The same hair place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Steve Eager's a neighbor of mine.
Yeah, Steve Eager's.
Yeah, and then I'm friends with Doug Dunbar at 11.
Yeah,
I mean,
there are so many nice people. I
there's
saw
a lot
Deborah
of-
Ferguson, who is the morning anchor
Yeah.
for Channel 5.
Yeah.
And I saw her at an event
married
we
to
went
Steve
to. Oh, that's right.
WBAP.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we went to that event anyway, and I saw her. She emceed it, and I was like, "You're so effing good at this shit. Like, you are so good. Like, she's on, and she's like, when I MC shit, I'm like snarky and
Yeah.
try to make knock jokes.
I don't
and
love it.
Like, me?
No, me.
Oh.
I'm the same deal. Like you
That
think
was it
no,
was
no,
really
not
bad
you at
timing
all.
on your
I'm
part.
sorry.
That was really bad timing.
We're
on your
talking
part.
about MCing.
You're like, I don't know.
I'm like, she was because I was there too. I'm like,
she
was
was really, really good.
It takes a certain
Like
person-
she's like, yes, she's
Yeah.
like super like fired up and passionate, and she's
Yeah.
in it. And meanwhile, I'm like, knock knock. Who's there? Impatient
But
cow.
you're funny. No,
That's so
you
funny.
are
Like,
you are good at it. You are good at
doing.
it.
But anyway,
there
yeah.
are a lot of nice folks. But when I started here, there were some weather folks in town that aren't here any longer. And I'm like, well, this is my personality. I'm the same guy in Dallas that I was in Orlando and in Cincinnati.
But anytime you do something differently than the norm,
and it was
right?
It was very different. People didn't joke or any of that stuff. And I remember, when I started here one time, one of the people that I don't want to name him, but one of the people that I worked with then, I told a Larry the Cable Guy joke. Who was on big. Like Jay Leno.
Yeah.
And I told it to John and Gloria, and it was relatable to the weather that day. And I was funny. And I mean, but I mean, it was in John and Gloria were dying laughing.
Yeah.
So I go back and this then coworker of mine's like, hey, you don't really want to do that. I mean, that was a little low brow. And I'm like, what?
God.
You're just over here using some language that I don't use, and that G-rated joke was not appropriate.
Yeah.
And it's
you say he took himself too seriously.
Yeah, and
obviously.
so it's just it's worked.
Yeah, it's worked for you. And that was my point. Yeah, like if you can make that transition from people that just watch just news and just weather and just sports on TV to Twitter, to social media, to the internet, you've killed it. Like you've done something right. And I love it because when you talk about how you got your start, that news director saw that in you. They saw that in you, and that's why they were like, do this right now, because it's taken you this entire way. People will tune out, like you said. It's like if the weather's the weather, right? People are going to tune out. But if you know that you can't miss Pete's forecast because he's funny and he's entertaining,
he's
going to
have a one-liner at the end.
And I love it. I love it. Yes. So
good
more power to you.
But how many times a year are you talking about severe weather?
Well, it's a dozen.
Yeah.
What we had last week, we had those 70 to 80 mile an hour winds.
Oh my gosh. My kids have, my daughter shows very little emotion. She was curled up in my husband's lap with a baby, like the stuffed animal, like completely. Meanwhile, I'm like trying to go outside once the winds hit because I'm trying to save shit. Mm-hmm. And they're all in the storm shelter. And I was like, can I get some help? And it's like the door blows open and I'm trying to bring in these like flower pots and stuff.
Emily's the Texan who's like the sirens go off and she goes outside. Come on, kids, let's look and see if we got a neighbor out
my
here.
My daddy used to do that. So I was raised in
County.
Plainview. No, Graham is where my daddy ended up after I graduated from college.
You were raised in Plainview?
Hale County, yes. So we had, but we had a basement, but my daddy would go out in the backyard.
Oh, in Plainview you had a basement?
Oh, yes. It was my room. Huh. And so my daddy would go out in the backyard and I would be frantic. I'd be like, Dad, come down here. It's going to suck you up. And he's like, it's fine. He had like a Coors Original soup and a Winston. And I'm like, fuck, this is the way it's going to end. This is the way it's going to end.
Funny. Yeah. Well, that explains Texas Tech then.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I did not know you were from out there.
Yes. Yes.
Huh.
Plainview.
The roots are strong.
Plainview, Texas.
So I am so West Texas.
The West Texas roots are strong.
Oh, I have a bunch
Texas.
of buddies that are all West Texas guys, Midland, Odessa, the Plainview, then even some of them that are from up in the Panhandle. And they all live here, either in Dallas or Fort Worth.
Yeah.
And I asked a couple of them the other day, I said, why do you guys, the Midland buddies, I'm like, why do you guys live in Fort Worth? They're like, clearly you haven't been to Midland.
Yeah.
Because their families still live out in Midland. And they're like, we would come to the stock show and rodeo as kids. We're like, there's trees here.
Yeah. Trees. And it's...
We're moving to Fort Worth.
A little bit of a nicer restaurant selection and all that kind of stuff. But Fort Worth is as close to West Texas as you can get without going to West Texas.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
So that night, can I interject?
Yeah.
That night, I was watching you as well. I was alone with two kids and trying to figure out what to do and just to like be serious a little bit. We have a lot of serious weather here.
Yeah.
So how do you handle those nights? And I love that you already referenced, I don't joke around on those nights because all of a sudden it goes from laughing, everything's fine. We have beautiful weather, 70-degree day. That night, there can be a tornado. It makes no sense, but it's very serious and it can be very scary. And I was watching you and people all revert back to you or your job, right? The meteorologist at that time comes into the spotlight. How do you handle those nights?
It's so funny. I mean, I haven't played sports professionally in 30 years now, but I look at it the same way. Us guys, and you see this with these guys. I mean, they're all screwing around and having fun, but when it's time to play the game, they're all, dead serious for any number of reasons. It's their livelihood, it's their dream, whatever that is. They all can turn that focus on and be ready to go. And it's the same for me. I mean, it's no different. I truly have kept that same type of mentality because, I mean, in my formative years until I guess I got hurt when I was 26, I mean, I didn't know anything else. I mean, from high school through 4 years of college and all that, I mean, it's just what I did. And so I have that same focus and intensity. And my wife says sometimes, you know, she goes, I just look at your face and you're so intense.
Yeah.
You just almost.
Well, and don't you feel like there's a little bit of I don't want to call it a burden, but you feel a responsibility.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, these people are listening to me.
And they're taking cover.
They're not texting me asking for, you know, the forecast at 5 p.m. at, you know, the Little League fields.
Well,
this is serious shit.
It's my friends and my family.
Yeah.
And I've always looked at doing TV that I'm just talking to my friends. You know, I mean, people are like, don't you get nervous? I'm like, believe me, no, this doesn't make me nervous, but these are my friends I'm talking to, you know, so I'm having fun with them or I'm giving them information. I'm like, and she knows, my wife knows when I'm serious. I mean, she knows that look. And, you know, and I've said before on TV, you know, hey, Jesse or Kyle, you guys do this for a minute. I got to call my wife. Hanson's like, it's drama. And I'm like, no, it's like, then I remember one time we had a tornado touchdown right near like a block from our house. Dale had accused me of dramatizing the situation. And it wasn't, but it's like, you know, those are those moments you're there to help people.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I'm not going to take that too lightly. And if I can, all those days, the majority of those days of the year, give you something to smile about or make you feel happy at the end of the day or help you navigate a nasty situation, you know, I want to be that guy to help.
That's awesome. You know? Okay, before what did I tell you when we booked you?
I know.
I was like 30 minutes. And you're like, that's it? And I was like, I mean, if you're entertaining, we'll go longer. So you've been highly entertaining. We've gone longer. But we have to get to Pete Delkus, the dad. You told us about this a little bit before we started taping. 25 and 20, 25-year-old girl that just got engaged and a
25 and 23.
23. Okay.
My daughter's the oldest. She's 25. Emily, she gets married in October.
You named her after me before we even met.
I know.
He knew. It's like he knew.
That's so sweet.
So Emily gets married October 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, really like her fiance now, which is weird for me to say my daughter has a fiance. But she has this guy is just fantastic.
And what is her, did she go to college, professional life?
She did. She went to Baylor.
Okay.
And then and left there and graduated from DBU. Baylor did not have she wanted to become a music minister.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So they didn't necessarily have that, but Dallas Baptist had that specific degree. And if you look at these kids that are placed across, you know, North Texas and across a lot of the U.S. that are these music ministers, a lot of them come out of Dallas Baptist. Cool. So she's a music minister. She's getting her master's degree and will end up getting a PhD in ethnomusicology. Of course, you know exactly what that is.
I was going to be my...
that was your fallback.
I asked the unforgivable sin of, well, what is that?
What is
and she then said, well, Dad, you know, people like you would go I'm like, what does that mean, like me? But we would go, for example, minister to people in some third world country on the other side of the globe, and we would try to minister to them with some song that maybe we grew up with in church.
Right.
I grew up Southern Baptist. What about you two?
So I grew up Catholic, Baptist, and then Methodist.
You've covered them all. Are you Jewish too?
This explains a lot.
I was Episcopalian, but my dad came from a Baptist family.
Okay, so think of, you know,
I mean, my papa was a Baptist preacher.
Okay, well,
I thought very complicated.
I knew there was a Baptist connection.
There was.
So you think of some of those Baptist songs that we were all raised with. Well, what does that do for somebody in Ethiopia?
Right.
It does nothing. So ethnomusicology is the study of that ethnicity and music that you can write and create that would reach them spiritually to witness to them
God bless her.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
she's got her mom's musical gifts. She's got a beautiful voice. She plays the piano and guitar, and she's really talented.
Did she come on the mom game?
I'm just talking about baseball every day.
She works for a group now called Iran Alive, and she works on the weekends at Lake Point Church, which it's in Rockwall. They have campuses all over Dallas-Fort Worth, Dallas at least. And so she works there, and then her weekday job is she works for a group called Iran Alive, and they spread Christianity to people in Farsi-speaking people in the Middle East and throughout Europe, and it's unbelievable because these people are hearing about Jesus with the risk of being killed.
Yeah,
You know,
wow.
think of that in Iran.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what she does, and her fiance is an opera singer.
Wow,
like a real deal opera singer.
Their kids are going to be little
So
kidding.
he
music geniuses.
He sings. He's doing some stuff now. I think it's with Dallas Opera here, and then he's leaving to go like in a month to New York to sing in an opera there. And he's talking about within the next year maybe going to Italy to do that. Not Italy, Texas,
just Italy,
but the boot. So that's my daughter.
And then son, 23.
Son Peter graduates from UTD in May. And he wants to be a business guy. He's getting a finance degree. And so
nobody wants to be a meteorologist.
I have steered my kids hard away from the TV business.
Okay, one question on the daughter that just got engaged. Getting married is not cheap. How do you... My dad offered me... I think a lot of dads do this. I'll give you this much money if you'll just go away.
Yep.
And we
go
did
to Cancun.
Yeah. Well, we did a destination wedding, and we were old enough at the time to where we were making decent-ish money, where we didn't feel like it was appropriate to ask at 32 years old, which is what I was. I didn't really feel like,
and I took it all, baby.
Yeah,
I
was like, I'm not. I feel like this is kind of weird. I'm making good money,
thanks, Mom.
so is he? Yeah. Whatever. So anyway, but still, he was like, "Here's a check if you want it. If not." Also, too, because my dad didn't like to fly, and neither did my stepmom, and they didn't want to fly to Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, PV's
beside
a
the
nice
point.
place.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
But how do you negotiate that? Is the rule still in place where the groom's family pays for the rehearsal dinner and the bride's family pays for the wedding?
You know, that's a great question. And so Jackie and I got married in October of 1991. So my experience from 1991 to 2023 is pretty limited. So what any smart man should do is you turn it over to your wife.
Okay.
I am so out of this deal. Other than Jackie said, this is what I think it's. And fortunately, Jackie's she's number one. She's really smart. Other than that lap she had 30 some years ago.
Sure.
But she's smart with money too. So she's kind of got
every marriage needs one of those.
Yeah, and so she has a nice. All of our friends, their kids have all been getting married because we're just at that age, right?
So she's compiling information.
So she's grabbing information from all these moms that have already been through that and kind of come up with, okay, this is the number. And so she's told me this is the number. Now, we just did a full house remodel, and this was the number. I mean, like, we gutted this place, and it's like a new house.
This is where the number ended up.
So this is the number? Right. It ended up here. So she said, this is going to be the number, but in my mind, I know it's going
buffered.
to, yeah.
Smart man.
But that's okay. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah,
because
but
hands up
only do it once. Like, I mean,
well, that's the goal,
right? But it's like, even if you like, I've had friends or friends with people who's like, and then they do it a second time, and then it's like, oh, I said yes to the dress. I'm like, wait, you already said yes to another dress, and then got married, and then now you're getting married again. Like, you can't do it twice. Like, you can get married twice.
Oh yeah.
But you just can't do the big blowout shit.
No.
We're gonna, and it's gonna be.
She
She wants it to be small. And so I don't. What's her definition of small versus mine?
Right.
And she said, "Well, we're inviting 200 people."
Oh, so small.
Yeah. And I said, "Okay, so what if people?"
Tiny little
and again,
wedding.
I shouldn't say this isn't like been a direct conversation with me. This is all via Jackie. But she has said, I said, "Okay, so what if these 20 don't show up? Are you going to extend 20 more invitations?"
No.
Nope. It's we're sending out 200 invitations to only people that have had a direct relationship with her, as opposed to 20 of my friends who know my daughter, but they don't have any relationship.
Yeah.
So the people that are going to be there are only ones that have had a direct relationship with her.
Okay, and that's a good plan.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it's a good
But
plan.
to me, 200's a lot.
Yeah.
200 is a lot.
Yeah.
Ours was about that much, but I will say, sounds like you're doing it right, because it was a really special time for my mom and I to plan our wedding together and to just kind of have the.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, just do it how you want, and then you show up and you dance and you celebrate and you party, and that's what matters, right? It's going to be awesome.
And it's funny because I had a buddy of mine ask me the other week, and they said, "So, how's it going? Is there a lot of conflict with you and Emily and Jackie?" I'm like, "Well, number one, I'm out.
Right.
You just say yes.
I'm just,
Sure.
saying,
Okay.
Here's the checkbook." And I said, "But with Jackie and Emily, it's been, like you, Julie, it's been a really, really good experience for them. So I don't think there's been any issues at all." And they started planning this probably a couple of months ago. And I think it's really been a really good
fun.
bonding, fun opportunity for them.
It is fun. You'll enjoy it. It's really cool.
It is very cool. And if you do get any cancellations, like 2, then Emily and I are available.
Provide some entertainment.
Well, and I'm learning about these wedding venues. Like she wanted to have it at, there's Lake Point Church they have a campus by White Rock. And so she wanted, because it's a traditional looking church, she wanted to have it there, but they're doing this major remodel, so the church isn't physically available. She wanted to have it there and then at the Arboretum. For the
Arboretum's beautiful.
That's great.
But since she wants to kind of keep it all together, so it's at some venue in, is it like the Colony or Little Elm?
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's a beautiful place, but it's all there.
All together.
Everything's going to be together.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
it'll be a great success.
Well, thank you.
This has been so much fun. I'm so glad you came on. We'll have you
Well, you're
again.
welcome.
We'll have you on again. I feel like there was a lot we didn't even get to.
I know we didn't, but it's been wonderful.
Yeah,
thank you.
it has been great. Okay, so I know since you've watched all 156 previous episodes of The Mom Game,
It's crazy.
you'll know exactly how we end our episodes, which is looking into your camera. You throw up the peace signs and you say "Mom Game out." I have every faith that you
Right
can pull
here?
this off.
Yeah,
That's
we're
your
going to do
camera.
it with you too.
You ready?
Here. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Mom Game out.